Forbes just featured Pakistan among South Asia's most dynamic digital finance stories as fintech adoption across the region accelerates at record speed. With digital payments surging, investment returning, and regulators clearing the way for innovation, Pakistan is stepping into the spotlight as a fast-emerging fintech hub. I sat with the Prime Minister back in September, where he reminded us how the economy faltered back in 2023.
Back in 2022-23, Pakistan was at the verge of default. I'm not going into its politics. We all know the reasons, but Allah Almighty was very kind and merciful that in Paris in June 2023, I happened to meet MD IMF. I had a couple of sessions with her over there, and we were able to reach an agreement, and that's how we averted default.
And now, within 2 years, Pakistan is being used as an example for rising digital economies? How? Get this. Back in 2019, fintech startups in Pakistan raised only about $10.4 million. By 2022, with growing investor optimism, total funding shot up to around $150 million. But in 2023 again, funding crashed to just $12.5 million. Reasons being global economic pressures, rising interest rates, and a shift in investor caution. Luckily enough, the slump didn't last. In 2024, investments roughly doubled to $26.3 million, and by the first half of 2025, Pakistan's fintech sector had already attracted $52.5 million. As of late November 2025, around 450 fintech firms in Pakistan have raised a total of $391 million in venture capital. In simpler terms, the money dried up, but now it's flowing in again. What investors pulled back in 2023, they're returning in 2024 and 2025, showing renewed confidence that Pakistan's fintech startups have real potential. Now, are you wondering how investors came back? See, when big banks and regulators start playing along, writing rules and backing new platforms, it makes fintech look less risky and more real. That encourages more money and more startups. Credit also goes to the biggest fintech deal of the year. Hubbo, a fintech startup, raised a record $52 million in April 2025. The surprising part? Mizan Bank invested almost all of it. A brilliant example of a major bank betting on a young fintech, which shows that industry now sees digital finance as the future. And very recently, a Middle East-based Mashriq Bank, which is banking industry veteran, has launched its operation in Pakistan. And it's a digital-only bank. Now, on the government side, things are also improving. They're offering funding support and creating clear rules for digital banks and payment companies. Are you having fun learning with us? Like, share, and subscribe to our channel for similar content. In short, startups are getting money, banks are backing them, and the government is finally making fintech easier to run. I spoke to an industry insider about what these numbers really mean and where we will be in, let's say, 5 years' time. Here's what he had to say.
Pakistan's fintech trajectory over the next 5 years really hinges on whether the current regulatory ambition translates into consistent execution. If executed well, we're looking at a fundamentally reshaped financial landscape where Pakistan could leapfrog traditional banking gaps for a massively underbanked population. I believe there will likely be 3 beneficiaries from this transformation. First, everyday Pakistanis who currently rely on informal financial networks stand to gain dramatically from accessible digital rails that bypass traditional banking friction. These include remittance recipients, small merchants, and freelancers. Second, private sector players who can successfully navigate the regulatory environment while building distribution at scale to reach the masses. And third, Pakistan itself has a lot to gain by positioning itself as South Asia's digital finance hub, while neighbors maintain restrictive stances. The convergence of Islamic finance principles with digital asset infrastructure presents an enormous opportunity.
So if Pakistan is really on the right trajectory, what does that mean for an ordinary everyday person? Well, easier access to banking. Even small shops and workers in remote areas can use digital payments and get financing. Then less cash, less hassle. Safer, faster, and no long paperwork. Oh, by the way, you can find out more about cashless economy in the linked video. Clearer business records. Digital payments make tracking money and taxes simple. Lastly, better economy. Money moves faster, small businesses grow, and more jobs are created. If more banks back fintechs and regulators keep building clear rules, Pakistan could see homegrown digital finance champions emerge. For everyday people, this means faster payments, digital wallets, and easier business tools becoming part of daily life, from small shops to rural freelancers. 2025 may well be remembered as the year Pakistan turned fintech from promise into progress. It won't be perfect, yes, there are challenges ahead. But for millions of Pakistanis, the journey towards easier, safer, more modern financial lives has already started.